Cognos, the log files are important, or any application, they are important because the log files track each and every activity that happened on the application. So let's say someone creating a dashboard and saving the dashboard, running the report, creating the report and running the report, then running the job schedule. If the services go down, so or if we are bringing up the services of Cognos, if any crash happens or any error related to any of the object available in Cognos, that will be stored into the log file. So these log files plays a very important role in terms of diagnostic, um, finding the root cause, and then finding the RCA, the root cause analysis, doing the root cause analysis, and then on top of that, as an admin, we have to resolve that issue. So these log files plays important role because of that. We have these many log files in Cognos. The first is the install log. The install log we call as the transfer that is placed in the transfer log file. So whenever we install the Cognos onto the server, any component that is be it a content manager on the content manager server, be it a dispatcher on the dispatcher servers, or the web gateway on the web gateway servers, these install log will be created, which is date and timestamp. The date and timestamp that the date and timestamp that we have installed the Cognos, and
Okay.
the extension is .log file. So the name you will see the IBM Cognos Analytics install date timestamp .log. Now, the where this is located, this log file, it is located in where you install the Cognos and under the log directory. We have log directory. Let's say we install Cognos here. D program files IBM Cognos Analytics 11.1.7. So this is the installation location. Under that we have a log file. So this log folder does contain this install.log file. This is a log folder. This is the installation directory. Okay. And in this
Okay.
installation directory, we will have the log folder where you can see this install log. And this install log, we call it as a name, the transfer log file. You can simply say installation log of Cognos. Okay. If someone asks, then you can see the type that is the name we call it as in generic transfer log file. Second log file is runtime log file. But we don't have to tell these names. We have to tell these names only. The install log and the second one cogaudit.log. What is cogaudit.log? Okay, so these are the runtime logs. What are the runtime logs? So that's whenever you run the job report or like um, or schedule or you stop the services, if those activities are going to happen or if they succeed, fail, or are going to the pending state, so the jobs that are succeeding, the reports that are succeeding, going to pending state, or they are failing, those logs will be stored into the cogaudit.log file. So how they are runtime log files? Because in runtime, users are going to schedule the reports or jobs. So, or as administrator, we do type of workload cogaudit.log file, then your cocktarter.xml file. Okay, so these are mainly used. So this cogaudit.log file contains the runtime information of what's happening in the Cognos, like any failures, any successes of jobs, reports, or like anything that failed on runtime. And this cocktarter.xml holds the Cognos configuration information. That's why these are more important that we look at frequently, these files. The next, you see the cocktarter.xml. Now we have a cocktarter.log file. Okay, so this log file also is mostly used, but it is not used by directly. So it works at background. When you open the Cognos configuration, this log file gets created. Okay, in so I'll tell you. When user one opens the the Cognos server using his credentials, okay, user two, only two users can open the session, the Cognos configuration, the server session. So let's say the user one uh, have access the Cognos content manager server. Okay. After that, he goes and open the content manager configuration. As soon as he open the content manager configuration on the content manager server, the cocktarter.log file will be understood. When the configuration, content manager configuration or dispatcher configuration is opened, the same user cannot open the configuration again because there was exclusive log created for that particular configuration. Understood?
Yeah.
Why? There is a reason behind it. Because the same user cannot do multiple changes in same configuration file. So let's say the user first opened the cocktarter.xml and again he opened another cocktarter.xml. I mean, just imagine. So what happens if we do changes here, like in one or two changes, and here one or two changes, and save it? So what's the point of opening the two cocktarter.xml? No point, right? He can do changes in the same block file and save the same cocktarter.xml and save that. So that's why the Cognos creates the log file, the log, see, the extension is .log, cocktarter.log, so that user cannot do open the other configuration and can do the whatever changes user wants can do in the same configuration. So the other configuration, this log file, so other opening the cocktarter.xml file configuration twice with the same user is not possible in Cognos. But the if user 2 goes to content manager server and open the CM configuration, that is possible. Because he is using his own credentials. The user 1 has the credentials and user 2 has username password, different username password. So one server, two users can log in one server using their own credential. So if we do the configuration, but he can open the Cognos configuration again even there is a lock from the user one, he can open here and do the changes. So now there is a conflict, user one and user two. So both are doing changes, but the user one's changes are can be different. User two changes can be different, and sometimes the it won't happen most of the 99%, but in 1%, the user one can user one and user two can. That user means the administrator, not user. So admin one in company we can have more than one administrator also, right? So admin one and admin two. So does the configuration level changes? Admin only. So sometimes very rarely on the same time. Can you please explain me what is the content migration? Report, dashboard, folders,
Yeah.
packages,
Yeah.
job, and this migration will be happened using the export import process in Cognos.
Okay.
The export, so the export process and the import process. I will explain in layman terms. Let's say, you want to buy a car. Okay.
Okay.
Now there is background noise at your background. Can you please keep on go on mute? Yeah. So export. You are buying. You are going to buy a car. Okay. Now uh, the you are buying to you are going to buy a car that is imported car, not a normal car. Imported car means example the no the Bugatti car. The Bugatti car that is not available in India, that is available in other countries in European countries or US countries. So the US states in US from US to India that needs to be imported to India from US. So let's say you ordered the car, okay, but it has to be exported from the US and imported to the India. Okay, so now this in US, let's say in New York, there is a store of the Bugatti car. Okay, and in India, you are staying in Hyderabad, and that car needs to be imported to the Hyderabad. What is the process? This Bugatti dealer will export this car to from the from the US to India first. Okay, example in Hyderabad somewhere. Okay, and then or let's say to Mumbai. Okay, exported from New York to Mumbai. Okay, so and then you you have to from Mumbai location, you have to go there. From Mumbai location, it should be placed in the Hyderabad. So we are taking that car from Mumbai to Hyderabad via train or plane or via road, and then from Hyderabad store, the car store, you are importing to your home. Okay, so export process, exporting from US to India and importing from India to your location. Understood? So likewise, in Cognos also export import process happens. So what we are going to do, we have to export the reports from test environment. Okay, we have to export reports from Cognos test environment Then that will be stored onto the primary content manager of test environment. Then that needs to be moved from primary content manager here of test environment to the then so what are the steps? These are the steps. Yeah, these are the steps. First is export report or any Cognos object like report or from Cognos test environment. Then it will be get stored into the primary content manager of the test environment under deployment folder. Then move the exported this folder, the deployment folder, exported report, package, object from primary content manager of test environment to the primary environment, content manager of the Cognos production environment under deployment folder. and then import that report package or object to the production node. This is the process, and that process is this process, the step by step in detail. Now, in detail, let's say here dare to text. So let's say from dare to text, not text to prod. Okay, it is dare to text. So here we have to open the Cognos administration portal. Okay, using the manage, click on manage button, open the Cognos administration portal, and then or console, and then go to configuration tab. Underneath the configuration tab, we will see the second option, the content administration. In the content administration, at the right top, you will see the new export button. And then where we have to give the name of the export and then give the description of the export that we are doing and choose the content like report, package, or anything, um, any object from team content, and then click OK, next, and OK. After that, we have these options. Use the save and run once. If you want to run now, use save and schedule if you want to save and schedule for the future time or date, and save only without running the export. So use the first option, then click finish. Once you click finish, that particular folder, the name we have given at this stage, okay, with that name, this export will be stored under the Cognos installation directory under the deployment folder. Okay, in .zip file, let's say the name is Cognos. Let's see the finance folder. Finance Cognos dev to test underscore 25 March. Okay, it will be stored in .zip file like this. Report dashboard. Okay, now this file needs to be this file where it should be. It should be located at the primary content manager of the Cognos under deployment folder, the installation directory and deployment folder. So copy it and paste it into the deployment folder of the primary content manager of test environment from dev to test environment. So that zip file needs to be copied from the content manager of dev to the uh, under deployment folder to the deployment folder in the content manager of the product in the test environment. After placing that, we have to do the second step, that is the third step, that is the import. That import, open the Cognos test environment, okay, QA or test environment. Go to administration console, configuration tab, content administration. At right top, you will see the new import, where you will see this deployment of zip file, this file you will see here like this. Then it will ask for username password that you have given in the export. So use that same username password, click next, 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 and click save and run once. Once you click save and run once, click finish. It will show how many objects are successful, how many are failed. So um, once it is successful, import is done, the, uh, your reports or packages or like any objects that will be migrated from the dev to test environment. This is the export import process. Okay. So what is single sign-on? How we can uh, configure a single sign-on? What is the need of single sign-on? Um, so all these things comes into picture when we talk about the single sign. The single sign-on also called as SSO. It is a short form of the single sign-on. So we have to enable the single sign-on or configure a single sign-on. So when we okay, what is single sign-on? Let's say okay, no. First of all, why we need a single sign-on? Okay, so I will document it first, and then we'll show you. Let's say we have two authentication providers. One is Active Directory. Second one is Access Manager. Okay, the Active Directory is for the entire organization. Okay, it has the users and groups. You know, right? This one now. So we have it has users and groups. Where Access Manager also has users and groups. Okay, it is also for entire organization. It is inbuilt. Don't worry about it. Entire this one. Okay, it has users and groups. But this is the second authentication that the Active Directory is different and the Access Manager different authentication provider. These two authentication providers. Okay, one is Active Directory, second one is Access Manager. The Active Directory users and the Access Manager users are different. Users and groups are different. Now, but still, we need to configure. So, but still, the users from the Active Directory and Access Managers need to be accessed the Cognos portal. This Cognos portal or Cognos URL, they both need to be accessed. When they access the Cognos portal, we can configure these both of them, Active Directory Access Manager in Cognos, Content Manager. When we configure, so both of them successfully, so what happens? It will ask all the users of Active Directory and all the users of the Access Manager to choose that particular security namespace. Okay, so when you hit the Cognos URL, it will give a drop down. Choose the security namespace, Active Directory and Access Manager for both the users. The Access Manager user, for example, the transformer user. or don't worry about it for now. Now, when you hit the Cognos URL, when you hit Cognos URL or production URL, on web browser, will prompt to select the security, either the Active Directory or Access Manager. Okay, it will prompt. Yeah. So, but Active Directory, these users and group users from the Active Directory or users from the Access Manager do not know what to choose, right? Eventually, let's say the Active Directory user chooses the Access Manager, then their authentication gets failed. So, and the Access Manager users chooses accidentally or like without their knowledge. If the attack is not in their knowledge, then the authentication fails, even if the username and password is correct. So because this is the first conflict. Second conflict, every time they hit the Cognos URL, they have to choose these options. One of the options that is appropriate for them. So that is the second problem for them. The third problem, uh, as a Cognos administrator, we have to educate all the users of the Active Directory and the Access Manager and ask them to choose their appropriate namespace, security namespace. So this is third hurdle. So to avoid all these three hurdles, we have to set up the single sign-on on Cognos for Active Directory as well as the Access Manager. Once you set up the single sign-on, be it Active Directory user, be it Access Manager user, they can enter Cognos production URL without choosing these security namespaces. Basically, it will bypass to choose this security namespace and directly they can access the Cognos portal, whatever the authorization or access they have. Now, how to set up in Cognos? I'll show you. So this single sign-on needs to be set up or single RFSO on Cognos on below component. In Cognos on the below component. For those, one is content manager, second one is web gateway. There is no need to do anything on the dispatcher server. So first of all, content manager. On content manager, open the Cognos configuration. Okay. Under Cognos configuration, you will see advanced settings or advanced parameter. I will show you just a minute. not this document. We have to go to Cognos Content Manager. Okay, we'll open the Cognos Content Manager configuration and Content Manager. Under Security tab, we have authentication. Authentication by default it is Cognos, and we have configure Active Directory here, right? So again, go to authentication, right click, click on new resource, click on namespace. When you click on namespace, so then you have to choose the default namespace Active Directory, and then create a new namespace like Access Manager, where you have to Access Manager. Once the Access Manager namespace is created and configured correctly, what you have to do, you have to again go to click on Active Directory, okay, and click on Active Directory and the advanced properties. Advanced properties, we have to add these two options. The single sign-on, that option, that is identity mapping, and multi-domain tree is equal to true. I will tell you what is these two. Okay, these two properties we have to add, or these two options. Then save the configuration. Once you save the configuration, then go to the Cognos gateway server, where we have the Cognos configuration of the gateway, and go to environment, gateway namespace, choose Active Directory AD. Okay, then save the yeah, and yeah. So it was already there AD. So you have to remove this AD from here. Okay, keep it blank. Once you keep it blank, okay, save the configuration onto the gateway, and then restart the service on the content manager and the service on the IIS. Once you restart it, so now you can go log in, go to the hit the Cognos production URL and see the namespaces directly. So just namespaces that you will see there. The one is Active Directory, and second one is Access Manager. So you will see two of those like this. You will see one is Active Directory AD, second is Access Manager. When you hit the Cognos URL. Now, as I explained here, you will see this. Okay. Now, on Web Gateway server, what you need to do? Okay, that is same document. Okay. On web server, you open the IIS. Okay. Before opening, okay, open the IIS. No problem. Not this one. Not this one. But on the web server, what you need to do? Oh yeah, this is IIS. So here on IIS, we have the IBM Cognos virtual directory. Click on that, and then you have to enable the anonymous access here. No, disable the anonymous the in Cognos 11. In Cognos 10, it is integrated into authentication, where in the Cognos 11, it is anonymous access you have to use. Then then we have the rewrite rules in Cognos 11. Okay, we have to write the rewrite rules that is for the single sign-on. Once that rewrite rules are completed, I will show you that. Once the rewrite rules are completed, the single sign-on, the configuration is completed. Then hit the Cognos URL. The the user cannot able to see the name, see the option to choose the namespace, and that's where the single sign-on is configured onto the Cognos server. That is called the single sign-on configured onto the Cognos server. So this is about the concept of the single sign-on. I will show on the environment. Okay. The next topic is consistency check. In consistency check in Cognos, what is the consistency check? Okay. Okay. Sorry. The next is consistency check. The consistency check needs to be done onto the content manager. I will tell you just here. This is single sign-on. This is consistency check. Just understand the concept. I will show you. Here, consistency. I'm thinking to uh, share all these in one go. That's why I'm following up the document first, and then in one go I will show. Be it will take 2 hours, 3 hours, doesn't matter. Okay. The consistency check. When we do consistency check, okay. So the consistency check needs to be done on the content store. Consistency check, it needs to be done on the content store. Done on the content store. And the security namespace. You, in consistency check, we are finding and fixing the anomalies or issues occurred in occurred on content store or security namespaces. So on content store or security namespace, there are some anomalies or issues happened, and to have these content stores or the store no means content store and the security namespace consistent with no issues, we have to do the consistency check time by time, like once in a quarter or twice in a quarter. Okay, this consistency check activity has to be performed onto the Cognos portal, and this is to find and fix the anomalies or issues occurred onto the content store or the security namespace. Security namespaces means the Active Directory or Cognos security namespace that is by default given by Cognos, the IBM. The second one is Active Directory. Okay, so your turn to understand. Now I'll show in detail. See here. Okay, so the inconsistency. Okay, the content store. What content store has or what content store stores? That is the data, right? And in data, there can be anomalies or the issues related to data. So that issues or anomalies we are going to find and then fix them. So let's say uh, one user, Okay, like there are like let's say in last 3 months, last 6 months, 20 users left the organization. Okay, left the organization or the company, and now we need to, but their profile on Cognos will be remain same. The profile in Cognos remains same because they have left the organization. It means the Active Directory team or network team have removed them from the Active Directory. But still their profile, since they have authenticated onto the Cognos, we have given the permission to them to use the Cognos. Their profile get created in the Cognos itself. And we need to delete those profiles. So go and delete those profiles first. And then when you do consistency check, that profiles will be deleted and those 20 users will be wiped out from the Cognos. The profiles will be wiped out or gets deleted or removed from the Cognos. That is how we need. That is for such scenarios we have to do the consistency check onto the content store and the security namespace. Now, in detail, the consistency check are of two types. One is internal, second one is external namespace. So internal means it is only on the content store. External means it is on the external namespace. The authentication provided at Active Directory. So to perform the consistency check, below is the procedure. What you need to do before performing this consistency check, you have to take the backup of the content store first. First of all, you have to take the backup of the content store. Then okay, then open the Cognos administration console. Okay, where you see the configuration tab, under configuration tab, you see the content administration. In the content administration tab, you have the like export import button, right? Next to that, we have the content maintenance. Under content maintenance, we have the new content. Click on the new content maintenance, and then click on the new consistency check option. Once you do that, give the name of the consistency check, like consistency check and today's date, or like internal consistency check today's date. Okay, and then choose the content store if you are doing the internal consistency check. Okay, so to like, and then once you click on the content store, okay, so the all the references on the content store will be get wiped out. Okay, so those inconsistencies will be wiped out. Wiped out. If you choose the external namespace, so choose the external namespace or choose both. So these are the options we have. And after that, just click on save and run that consistency check. After that, click on finish. Once you click on finish, we have two options. One is find only and find and fix. Find only option can only find the what are the inconsistencies are available onto the Cognos security namespace as well as the content store. Whereas find and fix option or mode will allow you to find anomalies or the inconsistencies. After that, they will fix when you run the consistency onto the Cognos. Once you click on the find and fix, it will find as well as fix, and then you click on run. Once you run it, okay, then click on finish. So at background, this consistency check will be finished, means will be successful. So once it is successful, check the details, what all the consistency has been detected and fixed. So that's how the consistency check we need to do. So this is about the consistency check. Okay. Then okay. So the server patching. Every month the new patches will be available So those patches need to be upgraded. Oh, okay, or degraded. So no, upgraded only onto the server. Okay, and remove the old patches um, or upgrade the old patches to the new patches. So uh, every month server team go and upgrade those patches, and that patching activity needs to be done by the server team because they only maintain the servers or manage the servers. Our activity is the maintenance, where the patching activity, the Cognos admin responsibility, the maintenance activity responsibility is on the Cognos administrator, whereas the the server patching activity is responsibility is on the Cognos admin as well as um, the the server team, Linux or Windows, any. So we need to collaborate with them. Okay, during that time. Okay, so these are the maintenance and tracking activity.